The price is right, bitch. Haha, welcome back to the show, everyone. I'm your host, Lawrence, over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and this is The Price is Right. Of course, this is what I'm calling the new episode of the Elite Comics 11 sales video, where I cover the top 11 sales that occurred on their page for the past month. Now, with that said, I pick out 11 myself, sales that I think people might be interested in, and rank them from number 11 all the way down to number 1 to see who got the best deal. But before we get started in the video, I remind you guys, if you're not subbed up to the channel, do yourself a favor, hit that sub button, do me a solid, smash the like button, and lastly, let's see who got the best deal on Elite Comics 11 this month. So at the 11th spot this month is a copy of Tomb of Dracula #1 and the first appearance of Dracula in comic books. And of course, here we have a CGC 9.0 with white pages in this classic Neil Adams cover that was listed on their consignment page for $750. Now, as we do here on the channel, before I give you the actual sales price, let's check out GPA. And I kind of narrowed down the data this month for the last sale, the 90-day, and the 12-month rolling average for all books here that were sold over the past month. The last sale, as you can see, was all the way down at $528 just this month. The 90-day, $640 on 6 sales, and the 12-month rolling average right around that at $620.
Actual retail price?
A whopping $630, beating that last sale, but right around the 90-day average. Not a bad deal considering this book is at number 11 this month, but don't forget, when we have a big disparity between the 90-day average and the last sale, we always try to meet in the middle. At number 10 this month is a classic cover by the great Todd McFarlane. It is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 316 in a CGC 9.8 with white pages, but also has that classic Venom label to boot. Now, Elite Comics 11 was asking $450 for this book.
Actual retail price?
Was right at that, $450. But let's check out GPA and see where this book has been and where it is going. As you can see, the last sale just occurred this month for $380. The 90-day average, though, all the way up at $465. And of course, the 12-month rolling average around $479. So in this instance, again, we have the buyer deciding to go right ahead and claim this book at the asking price of $450. But don't forget where this book was about a year and a half to 2 years ago, around $600, and probably about 2 to 3 years before that, around $1,000 to $1,200. So this book has really come down. I think if you're going to spend $400 to $450 with the 9.8, with the white pages and the Venom label, not too bad of a deal, but it comes in at number 10 this month. Back to the Bronze Age for number 9 this month, it is a copy of Tomb of Dracula number 10 and the first appearance of Blade. Now, don't forget, this book got super hot when we first got the announcement that Blade was coming to the MCU, and unfortunately right now, we don't think he is coming back to the MCU. With that said, Elite Comics 11 was offering this book at a $599 ask.
Actual retail price?
$550, $50 savings here on this book. With that said, we're going to check GPA, and as you guys can see, the last sale was also at that $550 mark. The 90-day average as well, $553 on 5 sales, and the 12-month rolling average up at $649. Another Bronze Age book that has gotten crushed over that time frame, but again, where this book was to where it is now, saving $50 on a top 10 Bronze Age key, I'll take it. Coming in at number 8 this month is the first appearance of the Black Suit in the Amazing Spider-Man title, issue number 252 in a CGC 9.8 with white pages, but not only that, has that great symbiote label, and not only that, this is a newsstand copy. Elite Comics 11 was offering this book at 100% money-back guarantee for $1,225.
Actual retail price?
$1,175, $50 under the ask. But get this, guys, the last sale of this book in a newsstand 9.8 with white pages was just this month for a whopping $1,700. That is an incredible savings. The 90-day average, though, all the way back down at $1,312 on a whopping 23 sales in 3 months. The 12-month rolling average, though, $14.89. So what does this tell you? Elite Comics 11 is always offering books up at phenomenal prices. Again, $100 here under the 90-day average and $500 under the last sale. Finally, we're going to talk about some Silver Age goodness. At the 7th spot this month is a copy of Avengers number 4, the first true Silver Age appearance of Captain America. Why do I say the first appearance, Silver Age appearance of Captain America? Because there was an issue, I believe, of Tales of Suspense where they actually had a Captain America appearance, but it ended up being another person acting as Captain America. With that said, Elite Comics 11 is offering this book up in a CGC 5.5 with cream to off-white pages for $1,250. With that said, guess what the actual retail price was?
Survey says
$1,175 again, saving themselves $75 off the ask. When we're talking about Silver Age keys, you guys know I'm always talking about true first appearances. Of course, Captain America's true first appearance was in the Golden Age and Captain America number 1. But hey, if you're a big Cap fan, this is a must-own book in a solid grade. I've always said in mid-grade, this book goes for a relatively inexpensive price range. So to me, if you're a big Cap fan, this is a good buy. At the 6th spot is one of my favorite covers of all time and my top FF book that I want to own in my collection personally. It is a copy of Fantastic Four number 12 in this classic cover by Jack Kirby featuring the Hulk and of course the Fantastic Four. Elite Comics 11 offering this book up in a CGC 5.5 with off-white pages to boot, another Silver Age grill with decent page quality for $1,795. Before I give you the sales price, let's check out GPA. Right around that, the last sale for $1,804 way back in July of this year. Again, this book was scarce in a 5.5, selling according to GPA with the 90-day average being the same as that last sale, as only one copy sold in that time frame. We have to go all the way back to the 12-month rolling average to see an average of $1,575 on 7 sales. Pretty good, $1,800 for this book.
Actual retail price?
$1,595, $200 off the asking price for this classic Jack Kirby cover. You guys know me, I own this book. I always want to own this book. One of my favorites, so someone got themselves a pretty good deal. $200 off the ask and the last GPA sale. At number 5 this month is a massive Bronze Age key. Of course, it is a copy of Incredible Hulk number 181, the first full appearance of Wolverine. With that said, we have an 8.0 copy here with off-white to white pages that Elite Comics 11 was asking $4,599. Now, why is this book at the 5 spot? Let me explain to you.
Actual retail price?
Was right at the ask of $4,599. But check out GPA on this one. The last sale for this book in an 8.0 was just this month for a whopping $5,040. With that said, that could have been a white pager, a super presenting book. Don't forget that, guys. But let's check out the 90-day all the way back at $4,768 on 10 sales. The 12-month rolling average all the way up at $5,106. So again, someone getting $500 off of the last sale, $500 off of the 12-month rolling average, and around $250 off that 90-day average. With that said, decent buy for this person. That's why it's at number 5 this month. So at the 4 spot this month is a book I rarely talk about, but it is one of my favorites from the Copper Age. Here we have a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 238 and the first appearance of Hobgoblin. This one comes in a CGC 9.8 with white pages, and it also is a newsstand issue. Now, the only thing that can make this book better is if it had that awesome Hobgoblin label that actually mirrors the cover of this book. Unfortunately, it does not. Regardless, Elite Comics 11 was asking $1,999 for this key. Let's check out GPA. You can see they're right there at the last sale of $1,980 back in August. The 90-day average, however, up at $2,185. But check this out, guys. Only 2 sales and a 9.8. That's pretty good. The 12-month rolling average all the way up at a whopping $2,631.
Actual retail price?
$1,700 for this gem. To me, that is a great deal. $300 off the asking price and about $900 off the 12-month rolling average. Not a bad deal. If you're a huge Spidey fan, this is one I probably would have jumped at. How about something for you Batman, Joker, and Golden Age collectors out there? It is a copy of Detective Comics number 168 and the origin of the Joker. Now, Elite Comics 11 is offering this book up in a CGC 3.5 with off-white pages. So again, a Golden Age book with pretty good page quality. They were asking $11,499. Now, quite an asking price. This book is rather scarce in any grade.
Actual retail price?
right at $11,000. The buyer is saving $500 off the asking price. But let's check out GPA. As you can see on the screen, guys, the last sale for this book in a 3.5 was way back in June of this year for $9,499. We have to go all the way back to the 12-month rolling average for an average sales price for 3 books of $10,566. So again, spending $11,000 on a more scarce book, $500 over the 12-month rolling average, and $1,500 over the last sale, even though it just occurred a few months ago, to me is not a bad proposition considering how important this book is for the Joker, for Batman, and for DC. Sometimes you just have to kind of pony up the money and say, you know what, I want to own this book. This is a nice presenting copy of this book, great page quality for the golden age. I want to own this book and I'm okay spending $11,000. That's why it's at number 3 this month. Now at number 2 this month is a massive key considering you don't see this book come up for sale that often in high grade. Also with the page quality you see right here, which is white pages. It of course is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man Annual Number 1, the first appearance of the Sinister Six. Now like I just said, guys, this one doesn't come up for sale that often in really high grade. So when I saw this sales price, I was shocked to see what it sold for. Elite Comics 11 was offering this book up for $2,499, right at the GPA last sale this month for $2,500. The 90-day average was also right around there at $2,475 on just 2 sales. The 12-month rolling average, not too far off, at $2,364. They're all right around the same price range over the past year. Why? Because this book is tough to get in high grade, so it commands a high dollar amount and a steady price range.
Actual retail price?
An insane $2,000, $500 off the asking price, $500 off the last sale, $364 under that 12-month rolling average. That to me is a steal at number 2. Because it is rarity at high grade, because of the savings of $500, this person did awesome for themselves. I'm so happy to see they picked up a monster deal.
That guy knows what I'm talking about.
Before we get into the top book of the month, I just want to take a moment to remind you guys I am in no way affiliated with Elite Comics 11. I just like to know, and I know a lot of you out there like to know, what some of these books are selling for on their Instagram platform. Right now, they are the number 1 Instagram consignment page. They do a lot of live sales. I do think it is important for a lot of collectors out there to know what they should be paying for these books. So they do me a big solid and send me the sales data so I can report it to you guys. Now I do pick the books myself. I try to stick to the bigger books, but if there are books out there that you see on their consignment page that you want to know what they sold for, do me a favor, drop it down in the comments. I will try to get the sales price for you guys. Let's get into number 1. So at the top spot this month, what else could it be? It is the King of the Silver Age, my personal favorite book out there. It is a copy of Amazing Fantasy number 15, the first appearance of Spider-Man. Of course, this is also the first appearance of Aunt May, Uncle Ben, so on and so forth. Elite Comics 11 offered this book up in a CGC 3.0 with cream to off-white pages and that great Spider-Man label. They were asking a whopping $24,950. Now let's take a look at this book a little bit. We do see there is some writing under Spider-Man's arm. There actually is someone's signature there, believe it or not. And of course, this book does have cream to off-white pages, which is a deterrent to some people out there. But for me, if you just want to own an Amazing Fantasy 15, this book presents rather well considering we're talking about colors, Marvel shipping. There is none on this book. We have to take that in consideration. The last sale, according to GPA in this book, was all the way up at $26,400 in July of this year. But guess what? That is also the 90-day average because this is the only sale recorded by GPA in that time frame. We have to go all the way up to the 12-month rolling average to see the price increase to $27,750, only roughly about $1,000 off that last sale.
Actual retail price?
An insane $22,500, $2,500 under the ask, but $4,000 under that last sale. Now that $4,000 savings could have been because of the cream to off-white pages, could have been because of the writing under Spider-Man's arm. Regardless, someone saved themselves a bunch of money if they just wanted to own an Amazing Fantasy 15. All right, so that's it for this month's Elite Comics 11 sales video, their consignment page where I take the top 11 books that sold over the past month or so. Again, if there are books out there that you see on their page that you want to know what they sold for, do me a favor, drop them down in the comments. I really appreciate you guys for getting me to 10,000 subs. I'm going to reiterate that. So big news is coming, so make sure you stay tuned. This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.